Oh, okay. Did he said hang on, right?
Yeah,
okay,
I
thought
don't
so.
know what he said.
We got producer Trent back there. How's it going, Trent? His mic's not on. He said good. That's great. And repeat guest, we got Mr. Joshua Rosales. How are you?
Doing great. I don't think my mic's on either.
It is. I hear you.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I think it must be your headphones.
Yeah, it's my headphones.
That's okay.
There we go.
We hear you,
there
though.
We go.
So that's good. Joshua, have you had a good week since last week?
Yes. Every day is a good day. Any day above ground is a good day, right?
Well,
Yes, sir.
sometimes that's true.
Put it in perspective. Sometimes maybe you wish. Well, no, you don't want to wish that.
There are some days where I'd be out to argue with you about that, but that's okay. Awesome. And we've got Jonathan Duo with us.
Yes,
How's it going, man?
Oh man, it's going. It's a beautiful Tuesday in Murfreesboro, Tennessee.
It is a beautiful Tuesday, isn't it? It's not too hot, you know. It's nice. It's nice. And I just met you, what?
10, 15 minutes ago.
15 minutes ago. That's right. So I'm really excited about this. Trent got us set up to talk with you, and you do all kinds of stuff. So I want to learn a little bit about you. But before we do that, as a teaser, we got to make a little bit of money. So Mr. Bryan Nale over at I almost said it, First Horizon Mortgage, is a proud underwriter of this particular show and a proud supporter of all things Spread the Positive. So Trent, would you roll Mr. Nale?
Yes, sir. With First Horizon Mortgage, but I want to tell you that I absolutely love being a part of the Spread the Positive Network. It's such a great mission and brings so much positivity to our community, and it's just a treat to be a part of. There are a lot of ways to navigate financing a home, and in markets like this, having the right advice of a trusted local professional is key to making sure you get the right advice for your specific circumstances. Whether you are interested in the purchase of a new home or have a need to refinance, I'd love to earn your trust. If I can help you nail your mortgage, call me at 615-243-3976, and I'd be happy to talk with you.
First Horizon member FDIC, equal housing lender, NMLS ID 472329.
All right. So Bryan Nale, one of my favorite humans, does so much for this community and does a lot for the Spread the Positive Network as well. He's involved in all kinds of stuff. Have you ever met Bryan?
No.
We got to introduce you. You would like him a lot, actually. He's a good dude. So we're going to learn now a little bit about you, what you're doing. You saved one story when we were talking. You're like, I'll save that for a minute. So tell us about you, who you are, what you're doing.
Well, I guess I can give you my whole government name. My name is Ganaquan Jonathan Duo. I'm originally from Paducah, Kentucky. My dad is from Monrovia, Liberia. I've been in this area for probably about 20 years, something like that.
You said between Nashville and Murfreesboro, kind of.
Yeah, like, you know how most people, they stop in Nashville.
Mm-hmm.
Nashville becomes like too busy for them. Then it's like, oh, let me go to Antioch. And then Antioch becomes too busy.
And they bleed to Laverne or Smyrna maybe, and then figure out Murfreesboro.
Exactly. So that's my journey.
It's the southern migration, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
I love it.
But you know, since I've been here, I've been kind of involved in the music scene as far as, you know, hip hop. You know, I'm an artist myself, but here recently I've started doing more artist management, you know, PR type stuff. I also run a podcast under the STP network.
Let's go.
Outstanding.
Let's go.
It's called Donuts with Dough. And what we do is we interview people that work behind the scenes in like entertainment, sports, you know, those type of things. We just want to capture people's stories because there's a lot of people that, you know, work behind the scenes that don't get that light shed on them. And
it's crazy. I mean, like you think about, there's a bunch of guys playing football in Titan Stadium. Now multiply that by what? 6,000-7,000 people, it seems like, that actually make that event happen.
Right.
It's crazy, isn't it?
Right. I mean, you can start at the agents, the event coordinators, anybody that works behind the scenes.
The people taking tickets at the gate, for God's sakes.
Right.
You know?
Trainers.
Yeah.
I know their feet hurt at the end of the day.
Absolutely. The person sweeping the floors, the person, I mean, all of them. That's awesome.
So yeah, that's what we try to capture on Donuts with Dough. And the premise behind the show, or where I got the inspiration from is my dad used to work at a bakery, Salmon's Bakery in Murray, Kentucky. He worked his way through college at that bakery, and he would have me there before, there was child labor laws.
They existed. They just didn't get enforced in Kentucky. That's all.
Yeah. So, I spent, many a nights with going home with flour all over me, falling off of bakers' tables, smelling like
a fresh cake.
A fresh cake or a fresh dozen donuts. Yeah. So, I just took that and applied it to, the people that work behind the scenes and make your life sweeter. There you go.
That was beautiful. That was well done. That was very well done. Yes. And here's kind of my thoughts on things, and we've shared this a whole bunch on this show and in other places, is that it doesn't matter if it's the guy sweeping the floors, if it's the agent, that's helping that athlete, earn their keep, whatever, whoever it is, or the guy baking donuts at 3:00 in the morning, or, the loan officer or whatever. Everybody's got a story.
Exactly.
Everybody has a story. The homeless dude down the street has a story, right? The CEO in the top floor of whatever building has a story, and everybody has a value, and it's good to learn all of those stories, or at least as many as you can.
Right.
So kudos to you, man. That's a great premise. I need to tune into that.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, man. And,
I was watching some of them. You got a lot of views on a few of them.
Yeah. I can't even attribute that to me. Like, the guys that I interview are really excited about, sharing their stories. So they'll, share and repost and want people to, check in and, hey, this is the most in-depth interview I ever done. Let's go check it out. So, that's where it comes from. I can't take all the credit.
Yeah. Well, that's fun. I definitely got to check that out. All right. We've changed the format a little bit of this. We did a whole lot, and we'll still do some of these, but we did a whole lot of local entrepreneur. Tell us your story. Tell us about your business, all of that. And that's valuable. And we like that. And we want to do that. And I still want to hear some about your promotion stuff and some of your marketing and some of that. But the other thing that we've added in is it has occurred to me, and I've known this for a long time, but it really started bothering me probably 6, 8, 9 months ago, somewhere around there. And that is I'll just call it how I see it, the complete lack of ability, maybe, and that's probably a little too strong, but definitely willingness for people that know each other or don't know each other to sit down, have a conversation about something that's not always comfortable, right? And disagree. And it's okay for us to disagree.
Agree to disagree.
Yep. But to be respectful, to listen, and to give credibility, to give value to what you're saying, you to do the same for me, and for us to get up after this and go have a beer together, shake hands, whatever, and still be friends. Right. And people just don't freaking do that anymore.
I think the reason why is, and this is something that I've been just me personally focusing on for probably the last 2 weeks, is removing ego. Because if you lead with your ego, you're automatically going to be in defense mode. You're automatically going to put up this wall, that keeps everybody outside.
Yeah,
so
that's a good point.
Once you kill your ego and don't take things so personal, that's when you can start having those type of conversations. And a lot of people don't want to do that.
Well, and to kind of dovetail to that, I think some of that is also, what's the purpose of having the conversation, right? Do I want to have this conversation with you because I want to win this conversation, and that's ego, right? Or do I want to have this conversation because I genuinely want to hear your perspective on it, and to grow and to challenge that maybe what I think, there could be some holes in that. And that's uncomfortable, right? That's uncomfortable for me to possibly be wrong about something, and that goes back to ego. And I just, I miss it, I miss the middle, if that makes sense. You know what I mean?
Right. for me, I think it's just the time that we in, like the whole council culture. I hate to even say that word, but it's like people are just afraid to be their genuine self because they're afraid of getting canceled or someone talking about them or, slandering them on the internet. And, like I remember a time you could say whatever you wanted to say, and if you was offended, then you was offended. If you wanted to fight about it, you fought about it, and you moved on.
That's it. And that was it. Yeah. Well, here's what you need to know about me. I'm not worried about offending somebody. Just so you know.
Right.
Yeah. It's much more fun when you let that go. You know what I mean? And not that I try to be offensive, but if the truth seeking that we have, if the quest for understanding, if you're going to share your opinion, I'm going to share my opinion, we don't agree. But if that offends you, probably need to figure out who's at fault there. You know what I mean? Honestly.
Yeah.
So, all right. Tell us a little bit about the promotion stuff, and then we're going to get into our topic for today.
The company that I do most of my promotion stuff under is called Higher Ground. It's spelled without all the vowels, but it's basically a collective of artists, producers, engineers, and we come together just to like raise awareness of each other, basically.
It's a collaborative.
Basically. And, I've been doing this for at least probably like 5 years now. And since then I've had a producer whose music has been on ESPN. I currently have 2 songs that will be placed in an independent movie called Clout. So we just, slowly but surely building, and we really are into like music sync, like getting music on television, film, stuff of that nature. But we do like internet promotions or like Instagram and Facebook, or we'll work with an artist. We kind of like a boutique A&R.
Okay.
Just bringing in different producers to work with artists and building the sound around different artists.
And you guys are here in Murfreesboro, or?
Well, the studio that we work out of is in Nashville, but with music now,
It's decentralized, isn't it?
Yeah, you can do it at home and send it through, but we really try to shy away from that. We really like to be in the studio all together, and
there's something to be said, man. I mean,
the environment.
Exactly. And you think about like all of the great records ever, right? And a lot of them happen just because you put the right people in the same room.
Exactly.
And it may not have been people that should have been in that room.
Just like the STP studio.
That's it. You just never know, right? You might have Mark Harmon in here.
I know Mark Harmon.
That's the last time I'll dig on you about that. He called me the wrong name during my podcast last week.
Hey, if you're watching out there, though, make sure you scan, follow STP right there.
Absolutely. Good job.
Talk about
Good idea.
My water out the way.
Yeah. So real quick, remind us what all you do and what you got your hands in right now.
So my name is Josh Rosales, and I get the honor of being able to network with the great Trent Denson.
Get out of here, bro.
I have a nonprofit called Breakthrough Nashville. We work two sides. One side's with the Hispanic community with immigration. We do all things with the Hispanic community, help empower them. Also, we work with the public schools there in Antioch. We work with Apollo Middle School, Smith Springs Elementary School, Paragon Mills. Working a little bit with Blackman High School end of last year, doing more this year. And then also Rocky Fork Middle School, we're starting some book clubs.
Nice.
Empowering mentorship programs for young people. My son's 17 years old and he's already wanting to get into real estate. So I'm like,
don't do it.
We need to, like I told him, I say, whatever you do, you can always make money. The market's up or down. You just you gotta learn it. And it's all about networking. And so, I just have a passion. I feel that, like we're going to get into this topic, that you can do anything you want to do, be anyone you want to be, go anywhere you want to go. but it's success is on the other side of hard work. And if you don't put the hard work into it, sit on a couch and earn an unemployment check, get some food stamps, and you're good to go. But if you really want to make the money, you got to put the work into it. And so you got to build the skill set, sharpen your axe. Then I also working for a financial institution, First Horizon Bank in Cool Springs on Baker's Bridge. And then I also have a podcast, the Breakthrough You podcast, where we talk with entrepreneurs across the United States and just help other entrepreneurs connect the dots, like the Spread the Positive right here.
There's a
If
lot
you're
of
looking
dots.
at this, make sure
dots.
you're scanning and following Spread the Positive. But I just love connecting and networking and talking to Mr. Jonathan Harmon.
Nailed it.
Yeah, that's good. All right, here we go. Here's the big question for the day. You guys
All right.
ready?
We here.
Yep, we got it.
There's
Right
some
here.
anxiety.
Right there.
I know. I can feel it. It's palpable. No, I'm just kidding. All right. So here's the question. Is the American dream alive? Okay. And secondary question, is this still, or was it ever, the land of opportunity? And there are so many directions we can go with this. So I'm going to let you guys start with those two related questions. Each of you say something about that, and then we'll just kind of see where it goes. I've got some other notes, but we can scrap that all together if we need to.
I see with your body language, you ready for this one.
And they were not prepped for this one, by the way.
No,
Now this is
Never
good.
met.
It's actually a really good topic.
It is.
It's a really good topic.
Now, I hate to get political, and
No, please do.
I'm not even a political person, but I will say this is just me personally, just looking from my perspective. With Donald Trump being in office, I think it created more entrepreneurs simply for the fact that Donald Trump is in office. If Donald Trump could become president, I can become
Fill
the
it.
podcast.
Fill in the blank. Yeah.
Yeah, I could become, I don't know, Joe Blow, the construction guru.
That's a really interesting perspective.
Yeah,
And on
okay.
the flip side too, I mean, Barack Obama, not just once, but twice elected president of the United States. And so, the dream was always, we need the first black president. Well, we got the first black president, not just 4 years, but 8 years.
Right.
And there's been so much that can be said. And even with Donald Trump, everybody, I mean, we're talking about the hip hop and the entertainment industry. I mean, they loved him, Snoop Dogg and everybody else, friends with Donald Trump. But now that he's president, everybody's hating on Donald Trump. The same people that knocked on his door to get money and to get him to support them now, and I think it's that cancel culture, that we're talking about. And so,
because I mean, let's face it, he was abrasive, right?
but you know what? That's why we had the most positive economic growth. There's a lot of positivity. Now, not getting political, but was,
yeah, we are. And it's
everybody,
okay.
everybody, I mean, he had a lot of imperfections, but when it came to the fiscal policy and came to a lot of other things, like the American dream is still there. And it's so incredible because America, even though we have a lot of imperfections, when you're in Germany, you're German, you're born a German. You're in Africa, you're African. Japanese, Chinese. In America, there's not a America is an idea. America is an idea of, I can come to this country, and working with the Hispanic community, I get Hispanics all the time that are undocumented, and they're running businesses. They're employing 10, 20, 30 people. They're not legal citizens, but they're running businesses and they're making money. I had one gentleman a couple of years ago came to me and he said, Josh, he says, not America, I'm standing here and I'm making so much money. He says, I am living the American dream. I think it's all about a perspective,
Mhm. So there you go. There's a question then. And I liked your answer. I thought that was interesting, that if he can become president, then I can do. I mean, it really was the epitome of because he was not a politician at all. And typically the president is the chief politician for the country. And that was not the case. So that's an interesting perspective. So Here's my next question. What does the land of opportunity, that phrase, right? What does that mean to you personally?
Well, for me, with my dad being from Liberia, he came here looking for opportunity, and he eventually found it. He graduated from Murray State with 2 degrees. Ended up being an entrepreneur. He went and worked in the field that he whatever degree he gained, but eventually he just started being an entrepreneur. He owns a catering business right now, and he's been the most successful Black business in Hopkinsville, Kentucky for the last 15 years.
Wow.
So, I mean, you look at things like that and you can see why people have this perception that America is the land of opportunity, when you can come from, literally nothing and make something of yourself.
Show up on the shores.
And I bet the story that your dad would have is hard work, commitment, determination, a business plan. It's
and I bet he got knocked down 100 times.
Oh, many times. For just like my dad is like one of my biggest inspirations because I know the story. Like I known him having a donut shop in Paducah, and he was selling out donuts, having Krispy Kreme, and competing with the big chains, and making so much money that his the person that he was leasing from kept upping the rent, that type thing.
Because make all that dough.
Dang it. Anyway. But yeah, just seeing him, buy one food truck and multiplying to 6. So
see, but that's it. Like he was connecting the dots. Like some people just got it. Some people just got it, and your dad got it, and then it bleeds into you. I mean,
I used to tell him all the time growing up, I'm like, man, I'll never work as hard as you, man. And then I remember one time he called me one day, and I was like in between one of my first job and my second job, and he was like, man, I thought you wasn't gonna work as hard as me. I'm like, what you talking about? He's like, I got one job and you headed to your second. I was like, okay,
it's that DNA.
You got me.
Don't you hate when that happens? I told my parents all the time growing up, I will never tell my kids, you need to do this because I said so. I will never say that. I've said it on multiple occasions. Yeah. All right. What's the land of opportunity to you, Joshua?
I see that the land of opportunity is that you look and you see where there's gaps and where there's opportunity, and you fill the void with something that people need. It's crazy. The last maybe month or couple of months, I really notice us as human, we're consumers. Like we consume.
Oh yeah,
everything.
We're takers.
I sit down at whether it's at church. Actually, I was sitting down at church Sunday, and I was just looking. I was like, people wearing shoes and clothing and food, and like we consume. Like we here on earth, we consume, and it's so easy. Well, it's not easy, but to be an entrepreneur, like it's like people are always going to be buying something. It's always like there's always a need for like Cedar Glade beer, and there's always a need for and so the land of opportunity is being able to say, you know what, I want to start a business, but not just start a business, but I want to start a business. I got the work ethic. I got, planning it all out.
And to your dad's point, I've already got some experience in that business or a different business, that industry or a different industry.
Yeah, and just coming in. I mean, it takes, like I said, it takes hard work, but the land of opportunity is the land of opportunity. There's plenty of money, of money.
To me, that phrase means that if you see that opportunity, if you see that gap, that there's really nothing other than the natural barriers, money, time, skill, right, to prevent you from doing that, right? So if I see a gap in a need for shoes. Let's just take that as an example. And I have the money, skill, and drive to make shoes that will fill that gap. There's nothing that stands in my way.
Perfect example. So my wife was, so we were campaigning for my wife who won the school board seat.
And that's where I know you from.
Rosales. Yeah. yeah. And you know, it's crazy because we knocked over 3,000 doors.
That's
like I would go
crazy.
home.
Good
I had blisters
Lord.
on my feet. Couldn't walk. I come and work the next day, like just hobbling. They're like, "What's going on with you?" I'm like,
We're
doing
campaigning.
Yeah, campaign. But you know, it was crazy because when we were walking down the streets and we were knocking on doors, there's certain neighborhoods where it's like, where is this address? Like, where is this address? And the address was faded off of the curb, you know, where they paint the address, or the mailbox. And I was like, you know what? That's the land of opportunity to be like, you know what? I can charge $10 and get a one of those stencils, spray paint the address back on the curb, and charge someone $10, and I made $10. Or to get the letters and put them on the numbers and put them on the mailbox, charge somebody like $5 for that, or $10 for that. Like, that is a business in itself. I've seen hundreds of those houses without the addresses on the curb. And
tried delivering pizzas.
Yeah.
Trust me on this one. I did it for a long time.
Man.
Yeah, that's so true. All right, so here's the next question. Is the opportunity within the land of opportunity, is it presented, is it different for different people? So, and you can take that whichever way you want. Is it different for immigrants? Is it different for people of color? Is it different for male versus female? Is it different for, like, obviously there's a leg up if you come from money to start a business because you've already got some funding, right? That's an obvious one. But aside from something like that, is America, the opportunity within America, different for different people?
You want me to go first?
That's a hard one to shoot. Yeah.
Okay. So this is what I say. You know, John Hope Bryant, who is a Black author, he started a nonprofit organization that a lot of banks house his their people, and it's called Operation Hope. And John Hope Bryant, if you follow him on any social media, he says that, you know, when it comes to the African American demographic, that they just did not get the memo. Many of them just did not get the memo. And the memo is, I think it's for everybody, even Hispanics as well. I think that, you know, the resources are out there. It's just some people have gotten the memo and know how to do it, and just how to get the money, how to get the financing. A lot of times when it comes to like the Hispanic community, and even with the African American community, I feel that they're like, where do I go? Where do I go? And because I feel like it's like a bubble that they don't have people to come in and say, hey, let me help you. You have SCORE, which is a nonprofit organization in Nashville. It's a nationwide organization, a nonprofit. They will not charge you to help you put together a business plan. They will not charge you to help you put together your business, and they provide advisors, and they provide workshops, and they provide, you want to know how to do it, and like, go to SCORE. SCORE will help you. But people don't know that. People like Hispanics will come and they'll just start a restaurant, or they'll start a cleaning company. They'll start a construction company, and they just jump into it and they do it. And sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. But
do you think that the resources that you're talking about, when you say that people within a certain demographic didn't get the memo, do you think that memo is delivered disproportionately to white people? So, like you mentioned, two demographics specifically, right?
Yeah. Hispanics, African Americans, and then white. You know, this is just my personal.
And you're not going to hurt my feelings, just so you know.
No, this is just my this is my personal
And if
opinion.
it hurts your feelings, then you probably shouldn't watch this show.
No, you know, Malcolm X in his book said something that I thought was very interesting. He said, you know, we all came here on different boats. He said, but the white man, they just started sooner. They got started a lot sooner. And
under a lot less duress. I mean, let's be honest.
Yeah.
You know,
but I think that I think that Hispanics and African Americans, they are behind the 8 ball in some sense, and that we have to, as a community, we have to help. That's why we have to help them. Nonprofit organizations and private industries have to help and really give those create programs in those communities to help them understand and connect the dots on that. So I mean, it's hard for me to say because I don't really know, the intent, or if I really feel like it's disproportionate. All I know is I don't really have time to think about that. All I have time for is to help my community with saying, you know what, if you want to politicize that, or if you want to say that, it's unfair, then, spend your time thinking about it's unfair. I'm going to spend my time actually helping the community and helping connect the dots.
That's beautiful. I love that.
I'm going to give you a hot take. And this is gonna
hot take.
I love it. I love it. Bring it on.
And like, this is not a shot at anybody. It's just growing up, you could see different things going on. For example, growing up, there would be a lot of white churches that would, offer food and, come to our vacation Bible school, Bible study, come get a meal, learn about Jesus, which is fine. It's cool. Because I'm a Christian and I understand the importance of spreading the word.
Sure.
But if you took those same kids and said, hey, I'm going to teach you about opening a checking account.
Yeah.
I'm going to teach you
balancing
about
a checkbook.
Exactly. I'm going to teach you about mortgage. I'm going to teach you about, taxes and all these things. How for, because you're, in one sense, you're doing you're fighting a good fight, but at the same time, they going home with a meal, but still don't know these other basic things that your kids are being taught.
Yeah. Well, and from a purely scriptural standpoint, that is giving a man a fish and not teaching him to fish.
Exactly. So, I mean, that's just one way that I look at things. And now you have, people in my generation that are just coming into, okay, man, like my kids don't even know what a roach is. Never seen a roach, but that's just from people in my generation being able to move up and learn different things. So
to your point, you're culturally behind as far as that part goes.
So now we're just getting to a point where we can say, hey, now I can, show you about this because I had to learn the hard way. Or, we have people that are in business, people that look like us that are in business that we can go to and say, hey, can you teach me about this? And we're comfortable. Not saying that, not talking to a white man or anybody is uncomfortable, but we want to see some type of representation.
Mm-hmm.
So,
and I believe do that all the time. I'm really rough on these mics, Trent. I believe that it is somewhat disproportionate, and we talked about this a little bit last week. Mm-hmm. And it's a good point that perhaps it's long-term timing is off, basically. That's interesting.
But we talked too. That we are in a point in time where we see a lot of African Americans, Hispanics that have come up a lot. There's no way that people want to paint that we're back in the civil rights movement. And even with sitting down with my mom, she can tell me, and this is the crazy thing too, it's like, and this probably be another topic, but when we see the civil rights movement, it's so much came out of that. But even with the Hispanics, you don't hear a lot of what the Hispanics went through, and they went through the exact same thing. Like my mom tells me stories about how she was treated, and she had to they were segregated as well. But from that era to right now, sitting here right now and with the entertainment industry and rubbing shoulders with so many, even myself, I never finished college. However, getting here from blood, sweat, tears, building my skill sets, anything is possible, but those stories are incredible to hear. And I feel like we're getting away from that, Jonathan, is that a lot of our young people, like you're saying, don't remember the roach. A lot of our young people, like a lot of our kids, like they don't remember 9/11. They don't remember, no one's telling them the stories about the Korean War, World War I, World War II. A lot of our elders are dying off, and those stories are being lost.
And civil rights movement, like what happened in America to get,
and they don't see
steps
that
forward.
The civil rights movement was birthed. Like there was meaning. There was like so much meaning behind that. Now it's like, well, let me go protest and break windows and defame property. And it's like you're losing the history, the what the meaning behind what that was. And the American dream is like, I don't know. I just feel like we're being so disconnected because we're losing that history, that rich heritage.
I mean, I believe that change is disruptive, but it can be disruptive with a purpose. A lot of times, this disruptiveness doesn't have a purpose. It's just, oh, I'm angry.
Sure.
But if I was angry and I sit down and I digested why I'm angry, or where's the point of my anger? Where do I need to aim my anger at in a positive way? I think things could change.
Well, or even if it's ultimately a negative action, right? It's a unpleasant negative action of some sort. Is there a purpose behind it that leads to a bigger purpose?
Exactly.
Right. And I think that's what you're talking about, that we're losing. And I wonder, and man, this is like a whole other conversation altogether.
Yeah.
I wonder, I look at that and I look at people's ability to express, kind of goes back to what I started with, to express their opinions, to express their emotions, to express their distaste for something. It's eroded in a lot of ways. And the ability to sit down and have a conversation, just period, right? Hard stop, without texting it to each other or without, whatever, being in two different states. I mean, all of those things, it's just stopped, I mean, I can't tell you how many times I've gone on social media and I've seen my friends post some crazy opinion that they have. And it's followed by the statement, if you don't agree with me, then unfriend me now.
I know that was,
I'm like, well, why? I mean, like, I thought we were friends.
I'm going to stop being your friend because you have a different opinion.
But that doesn't make sense.
Because you like grape Kool-Aid and I like
fruit punch.
Yeah.
I love fruit punch. Grape's good too, though. Anyway, I just like Kool-Aid. Let's just really be honest. All right. We're running out of time. This has been great. I've got a couple quick hitters. Okay. So I always like to do these. Fact or fiction. All right. You can elaborate on it a little bit, but not a whole lot. So a little bit. Got it?
Poquito.
What he said. Yes. Yeah. Fact or fiction. Success is measured in dollars.
Fiction.
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 Yes, fiction.
Okay. We don't disagree. There we go. All right. Fact or fiction. You can be anything you want to be in America.
Fact.
Individual you can be anything you want to be in America.
I mean, there's cosplay, so yeah, you can be anything you want to be in America.
It may take
I
you
want to be a
time.
unicorn.
I mean,
Done.
There's people that,
Oh yeah.
offer their body. Anyway,
That was hilarious, by the way.
Yeah. Perspective.
I'm gonna go fiction on that. I'm gonna go fiction on that. And here's why. Okay. I think despite the fact that we have the land of opportunity, I think we all agree that we still are the land of opportunity. There are limitations that individuals have that do not allow them to be certain things.
Expand on that.
There is zero chance that no matter how bad I wanted to, I could not be a physicist. I don't have the ability to do it. My brain does not work that way. It just doesn't. I could not be a successful accountant.
But you're a physicist of beer.
Doesn't matter. I couldn't do it. Right. Also, I could not be a Navy fighter pilot. I couldn't do it. My eyeballs are.
I would agree with you.
Okay.
I could see that.
yeah.
And here's where I'm going with this. I like this as fiction because it prevents people. It prevents people from completely discouraging themselves, right? And it makes them challenge themselves to think, what can I actually do, and how can I do it the best that I possibly can to have as much success as I can in something that I can do, and not blame whatever because I couldn't do some crazy thing that there's no chance I could ever have done. You following me on that?
Yeah, I'm just thinking of someone in a particular, like growing up in an environment, you know, someone in a certain environment may not be thinking they're a physicist, right? It's like they're only thinking of what's around them. So it's but no, I see what you're saying, Mr. Jonathan Harmon.
And no matter what, I can't be Mark Harmon. Like, I can't do it.
That is true.
He's awesome though. I loved him in whatever show it was that he was in. All right, let's see. Next one. True or false, or fact or fiction? America as a country, as a culture, as an idea, supports innovation. It's a little softball for you.
True.
That's
Tesla.
fact. I mean, Tesla, Apple,
Cedar Glade.
I don't know that we're
Spread the
innovation.
positive.
All right.
yeah.
And I lied. Last one. Fact or fiction? All right. We're going to end on a hard one. Okay. You ready? It's easier for a white guy to succeed in America. Fact or fiction?
Fact.
I mean, as much as I would have to say yes, I would agree with that. I would have to agree with that.
Care to elaborate?
Like, if I elaborated, I'd be here for. Yeah, I'll just leave it at.
We'll just leave it at that.
Fact.
I mean,
That's the answer to
because
the question.
yeah. Anyway,
But it's not. I mean, but you know, even though it's the consensus is fact, that's a great opportunity that's like mindset of looking at it and saying, you know what? Yes. However, let's not spend the time on that.
Well, here's where I want to spend the time on that. And this is why I threw this in there. Okay. Because I was going to leave it out, but I threw it in. Here's why this is important to me, right? I need to realize that. You get what I'm saying? I need to realize that that's a fact, because that motivates me to participate in the things that you're talking about, That motivates me to support your business and to support your business, maybe disproportionately support your business and your business, because I know that it was easier for me to be successful.
But you shouldn't, and that shouldn't come out of a place of guilt.
It's not.
No.
Exactly. But you know, a lot of white people, they come at it as a place of guilt. I was standing
and almost like I feel sorry for you.
Yeah,
And
and
that's
it's
not what I'm
not.
saying.
No, it's like general brothers. We're brother. You know, scientifically speaking, all three of us are 99.8%. We all share the same DNA. 99.
Just like this much different.
Yes, 99.8%. We all share the same DNA. However, the only thing that makes us different is our skin color. However, we see ourselves as brothers and being able to help each other, and not as, oh, I'm white, so therefore I'm guilty. I feel guilty and I'm going to help you. No, I want to help you because
I want to see you succeed.
exactly.
And I want to celebrate your success.
Exactly. We celebrate
You know?
together. We all get,
That's
we all, that's the idea. That's the American idea.
But in order for me to do that appropriately, I have to realize when I've had it easier than somebody else, that not that I owe it to them.
Are you getting emotional, John?
I am. I'm getting a little weepy over here. Not that I necessarily owe it to them, but that I have a responsibility,
Yes.
right, to help my community,
Yeah.
and you're my community, and you're my community, and you're my community.
Yeah. And I think that's across the board. That's across whether, no matter what color you are, if you have the opportunity, then you're like mandated
That's
to
it.
help.
That's it. Was it Spider-Man? Was it Uncle Ben?
Great power.
Uncle Ben's rice.
Yeah.
Great
I
power
like
comes
that.
great responsibility.
Great power comes great
And
responsibility.
Trent's over there
That's it.
saying,
Fire,
we
y'all.
gotta cut
This
it.
is
Love
good,
it.
man.
Hey, it's been a pleasure meeting you and getting to know you a little bit. And do you have any upcoming shows or anything?
I think my next scheduled podcast will be September 3rd, I think. Maybe.
Yeah, new episodes dropping Thursday
but
though.
Okay.
Yeah, so
And I went through and watched a few
On the
of them.
STP network.
Yeah.
Oh, look at that.
No.
See?
Oh, no.
Oh, we'll fix that.
All right, let's end it. Go.
Yeah,
Good talk,
that's it.
everybody.
Hey, thank you so much for watching. I'm tearing up
We're
the
gonna edit
studio
it
over
right
here.
now.
And hey, check us out again next week. Check out Doe's podcast
I
on
Am
Thursday.
Donuts
Donuts
with
with
dough.
Dough.
Donuts with Doe.
Breakthrough you.
Breakthrough you over here. We
Podcast.
got wait, man, there's all kinds of stuff going on in this group.
Man.
Hey, real quick, I'm gonna throw a plug for Cedar Glade. Tomorrow, MTSU is going to be here for a social hour, and we are sponsoring. We being Cedar Glade are sponsoring MTSU. We're a sponsor for MT Athletics. We're going to be in the beer garden. They're going to have the big inflatable helmet here. They're going to have some swag
That
here.
is awesome.
We're going to have a big old Blue Raider party. Murray State's okay as long as you're not Western. As long as you're not Western
Right.
Kentucky, then we're good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got no problem with the racers, you know.
All right.
But anyway, y'all come out and see us. Have a
Yes,
great
sir.
rest of the week. Talk to you soon.